Just minutes away.
An Action News 5 exclusive tonight with the man at the center of an international tug of war. Former Memphian Tony Holden is home tonight after he spent nearly 3 years locked up overseas on bogus drug charges.
In an exclusive interview with our Kelly Cook, Holden recounts the harrowing moments of his arrest and praises the global village that fought to get him released.
Reunions happen every day at the Memphis International Airport.
44. Let me make sure that's the right flight.
But on this day,
we know that God answers prayers.
this reunion came dangerously close to not happening at all.
I don't know if it's fun to do.
After almost 2.5 years, Tony Holden was finally home. News of the American defense contractor being released in late April from a Kuwaiti prison made international headlines.
And it's very traumatic.
But Holden has yet to share, in his own words, how he ended up in that prison in the first place. Until now.
It started off with a phone call from my director that there was some inquiries made as a result of someone mentioning my name.
Holden has spent over a decade in Kuwait, working as a HVAC technician at Camp Arifjan. Ironically, the call from his boss came as he was making plans to come home.
We had lost a family member, so I was in the process of working to get back to the States to attend the funeral.
On November 9th, 2022, while at a travel agency in Kuwait, he says he was approached by men presenting themselves as law enforcement officers.
They were in plain clothes.
Plain clothes.
And they approached you.
Exactly.
And they had questions about whether or not you had narcotics or drugs on you?
Well, yeah, but the language barrier, because nobody was there speaking fluent English to me, so I said, what's the problem, what's going on, Come with us, you need to come with us, come with us.
Holden said the men demanded to know where he lived, then ransacked his apartment and assaulted him.
In my bedroom, he again, where's the drugs, And he struck me again, and I just tightened up.
His 2-year-old daughter witnessed it all.
And this officer grabbed my daughter and just put her in my face and looked at me. You know what I mean? You know drugs. Tell her we're going to take your whole family to jail.
This is the broken door.
In never-before-seen footage recorded by his child's mother, Holden's home is almost unrecognizable, destroyed in a search for contraband that was never found. Still, officers arrested Holden, who says he was forced to sign a false confession, then charged with drug possession and trafficking.
And at any point, were you ever in possession of drugs?
No.
If you know him, you know he doesn't even use substances. So you would think like to sell or traffic it, like that's just a huge jump from somebody who doesn't consume alcohol, who's very religious, who's very prayerful, who's very positive.
Tony Holden was of at least 54 Americans held hostage or wrongfully detained in 2024, according to the Foley Foundation. The advocacy nonprofit says reported incidents of Americans taken captive has significantly increased over the past 2 decades, on average held captive just under 6 years. The issue gaining national attention following high-profile cases, such as WNBA star Brittany Griner, sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for drug possession. She was released after 10 months in December 2022. Tony Holden, the devout Muslim, father of 7, was hopeful for a similar outcome.
So if I didn't know anything, it was time to be still, pay attention, and call on God.
Even in your faith, Tony, was there ever a time that you thought, am I ever going to make it home?
Too many times. Too many times. When you're going through this difficult factor, it is the strength of the village and the community that really pulls you through.
Tony, we've got the village. This is your family.
This village treated the fight to get Holden home like a covert operation, led by his sister Rita.
So we just had a whole project plan set out. We had a timeline of everything that we were doing, and we were having multiple Zoom calls like weekly.
From Memphis to Atlanta, where Tony was living prior to moving overseas.
I ran coordinated Atlanta to make sure everything that was going on in Memphis, I was doing the same thing in Atlanta.
They launched freeholden.com, raised thousands of dollars for his legal defense, created petitions, and reached out to friends from the old neighborhood to join the fight.
Tony is a South Memphis guy. That's where I'm from.
Tony Holden is a friend of the family. His sister is married to one of my best friends.
We went to D.C. more than twice, at least twice, working on his behalf.
Memphis U.S. Congressman Steve Cohen wrote letters to Kuwaiti officials.
But I know Kuwait has a habit of doing this. They will arrest people on flimsy causes. They have very strict legal standards.
Internationally recognized negotiator Mickey Bergman of Global Reach joined the effort too. After 903 days behind bars, Holden's prayers were finally answered. He was one of 23 American prisoners released from Kuwait since March, part of a goodwill gesture to the U.S. administration, according to authorities. The largest release of U.S. citizens by a single foreign country in years.
Come here, Benita. Come here, Benita.
Leading to this homecoming.
Yeah, it's your grandpa. You all right? You got Charlie, you okay?
So many waited so long to have. Tony Holden says he didn't bring much with him from that prison cell, just his journals, a few clothes, and this feather from a bird that became trapped in the same prison that once trapped him.
And I asked God for a right to be free, to go back home to my family. And I took that, me releasing that bird and that feather, as a sign from God that he was with me.
In Memphis, Kelly Cook, Action News 5.
Tony told Kelly he left two things behind in his prison cell: a copy of the Koran and the Bible. A reminder to the next inmate, he says, to keep fighting until they make it home. You can read more about Tony Holden's incredible journey at actionnews5.com.